Preparation model paper 32. Shankar Reddy, PhD plant pathology. This is an exact continuation to model paper 31. So the last question, that 500th question is Dutch elm disease is caused by. So generally Dutch elm disease is caused by Ophiostoma ulmi or Ophiostoma nova ulmi, that we finished with the previous presentation, right? Previous video. Now it's a fine art one. Dutch elm disease is transmitted by. So Dutch elm disease is generally transmitted by bark elm beetle. It's a kind of beetle. Bark elm beetle is mainly responsible for the transmission of this Dutch elm disease, which is caused by Ophiostoma ulmi or Ophiostoma nova ulmi. Scientific name of Phylloxera rutefid. So Phylloxera rutefid, there are one or two scientific names, but most recommended scientific name is Dactylosparia vitifolia. Dactylosparia vitifolia. Coconut lethal yellowing is caused by. It is actually a phytoplasmal disease. In the list of phytoplasmal diseases, I think I have mentioned this coconut lethal yellowing, which is a phytoplasmal disease, and it is transmitted by a vector called plant hopper. Through plant hopper it will transmit. The scientific name of the plant hopper is Mindus crudus. Next one is a coconut lethal yellowing is introduced in India from which country, they are asking. So the coconut lethal yellowing introduced in India from country Cuba. Oak wilt is caused by. So oak wilt is caused by Ceratocystis fragacearum. Now it is called as Bredsiella fragacearum. Oak wilt, Ceratocystis fragacearum. If the Ceratocystis fragacearum is not there, then go with Bredsiella fragacearum. Oak wilt is transmitted by. So it is transmitted by a kind of beetle called Nutulid beetle. So butternut canker is caused by Ophignomania clavigigante jugalendacearum. It's a little bit bigger, right? So Ophignomania clavigigante jugalendacearum. So this is the causal organism for butternut canker. Cypress canker is caused by Ceridium cardinale. And ergot means generally spur or cock spur, such kind of meanings will come. General meaning of ergot. Okay, what are the two expanded terms of LSD? So there are two expanded terms of LSD word. Generally LSD means lysergic acid diethylamide, which is we generally consider as a drug of the century. It was called by drug of the century by Bow 1970. This LSD is a we can say some kind of medication, especially used for psychiatric disorders, like people who having mental disorders or psychiatric disorders. This LSD drug can be used. And one more expanded term for LSD is lesion stimulating disease. So what I'm trying to tell is there are two expanded terms that we can observe related to LSD in plant pathology. One is lysergic acid diethylamide, which is considered drug of the century. Second expanded term is lesion stimulating disease. So these are all the two expanded terms. The next one is Aspergillus and Penicillium, both species producing a toxin. So Aspergillus and Penicillium collectively are both producing a toxin called acreotoxin A. So these are all the toxin which is produced by both Aspergillus and Penicillium species. Moldy sugar is caused by a mycotoxin. So R-threnium is generally responsible for moldy sugarcane. Sick building syndrome is mainly due to stachybotritis. Brown rot of stone fruits is caused by Monilinia fructicola. Stewart wilt of corn is caused by Irvinia stewarti or Pantovia stewarti. Why it is called Stewart wilt? Because it was first discovered by Stewart in 1895. So there is a small history behind this. And before the Stewart was working on this corn, it was first observed by T.J. Burrell. We know very well who is T.J. Burrell. T.J. Burrell is considered as the founder of plant bacteriology and is the only one who discovered the first plant bacterial disease, that is a fire blight of pear and apple in 1882. So fire blight of pear and apple is caused by Irvinia amylovora. Before it is called as Micrococcus amylovora, later name changed to Irvinia amylovora. So the first T.J. Beryl was while he was working on various other diseases, he have gone through this one day he was going through this cornfield and identified this disease, but he couldn't able to prove the coach postulates, and he just told and he went off. That's it. He never worked on in detail. Later, Stewart in 1895 he started working on this corn diseases, and he sent the cultures to E.F. Smith and identified the causal organism. E.F. Smith told that. Xanthomonas or Pseudomonas, some other names he preferred. Later, finally, he came to, it came to conclusion that it is caused by Irvinia stewarti. Now it's called as a Pantovia stewarti. That's why it's called as Stewart wilt of corn. So Stewart wilt of corn generally transmitted by corn flea beetle. This is also very, 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 very important. Stewart wilt of corn is caused by Irvinia stewarti or Pantovia stewarti. Stewart wilt of corn is transmitted by corn flea beetle. The scientific name of the corn flea beetle is Chetonema pulicaria or Chetocnema pulicaria, generally the scientific name. The bacterial wilt of cucumber is caused by Irvinia trachyphylla. So bacterial wilt of cucumber is transmitted by striped cucumber beetle or spotted cucumber beetle, Diabrotica victata. Now it's called as Acailama victata. One more species also there, Diabrotica duodecim punctata. Generally, the very rare amount of bacterial disease is generally spread through vectors. For the best examples are Stewart wilt of corn and bacterial wilt of cucumber, and Pierce disease of grapevine and others diseases as well. But majority of the bacterial diseases are like rain splashes or through irrigation or some other means they used to spread. But couple of pathogens or bacterial pathogens like Stewart wilt of corn or bacterial wilt, Pierce disease of grapevine, they are known to be reported to transmitted by insect vectors as well. And PVY, potato virus Y, is transmitted by. So potato virus Y is generally transmitted by aphids. It is known to be transmitted by aphids. Father of immunology, Edward Jenner is considered the father of immunology. The next one is mode of action of wildfire toxin, and wildfire toxin is also known as T toxin, Pseudomonas syringapatha or Tavasi. It is actually the mode of action is inhibits glutamine synthesis. I think glutamine synthesis. Hypersensitive response in animals is called as. So generally, hypersensitive response in plants is called as hypersensitivity. Generally, in humans, it is called as apoptosis. Apoptosis. The first president of IPS, Indian Phytopathological Society. Generally, SR Bose is considered as there is again a bit controversy. Majority of the books are mentioned as JF Daster. If we see the website, that is the Indian Phytopathological Society website, we can see the list of presidents from 1948 to now. The first president is SR Bose, second president is JF Dash, again third president is SR Bose only. But SR Bose served a very little amount of time, very, very short period. That's why majority of the people is not considering. But whatever, even a single day we need to consider as a president. Just you can take an example. Atal Bihar Vajpayee served just 13 days or 14 days as a prime minister to India. Still we are considering his own, one of the previous or prime minister, right? So even though it's a 1 day or 2 day, we must consider it as a president. So the first president goes to SR Bose only. If the option was not there, then you can go for JF Daster. So JF Daster is also renowned for the establishment of Phytophthora genera in India, the seedling blight of castor, which is caused by Phytophthora parasitica, right? The next one is the first scale to measure the plant disease intensity. That is a COPS scale. Silver leaf of tomato is due to, generally it's due to pollution. I think it's paraxyl nitrate. Due to paraxyl nitrate, we can observe disease in tomato called silver leaf of tomato. Plant disease under domestic quarantine. What are the different kinds of plant diseases under domestic quarantine in India? So, for example, we can take diseases of potato wart, golden cyst nematode, banana bunch top virus. These are all the important diseases that are under domestic quarantine in India. Chemicals which reduces the phytotoxicity of another chemicals is known as safeners. Safeners are the chemicals which actually reduces the phytotoxicity or toxic effect of the other chemicals. genus containing a thread-like virus. Claustroviruses only. All the claustroviruses actually look like thread-like viruses only, or worm-like or tapeworm-like. We can generally call it as thread-like viruses, claustroviruses. Antibiotic hymycin and MYC4 was discovered by not only hymycin and MYcin. First antifungal antibiotic, ariofungin, dermostatin, hymycin, MYC4, all are discovered by father of Indian antibiotics, M.J. Tirumalachar. Bengal famine is due to a disease called brown leaf spot of rice, which are Sasan leaf spot of rice we can also call as, which is caused by Helminthosporium varizae or bipolaris varizae. Principles of fungicidal action was written by the principles of fungicidal action was is a book which was written by Diamond and Horsfall. The association of fungi and algae is known as lichens. Lichens are the association between fungi and algae, right? Which bacterium produces yellow color colony or yellow color pigment, we can also say. Generally, Xanthomonas bacterium produces a yellow color pigment. Next one is the flag smut of wheat is introduced in India from Australia. See, I will tell you about this flag smut disease. Actually, this flag smut disease was first reported in Australia around 80s and 1870s, 1880s and 1890s. This disease was a very severe disease. Later, with the help of various kinds of varieties, Victoria and other kinds of wheat varieties, they slowly bring down the severity of flag smut. But this flag smut, the Australian people are effectively controlled somehow. Now the flag smut was not there in Australia, but from Australia the flag smut was introduced in India in the year of 1906. So later this flag smut became one of the dangerous diseases in India. So we actually introduced it from Australia in 1906. This is a very important question. Central Potato Research Station is located at Shimla. Central Potato Research Station. International Dealer Papa. The research institute mainly working on very simple. International Center for Potato Research is not generally known as International Dealer Papa, which means especially working on potato. Actually, they are located at Lima, Peru. International Dealer Papa Research Institute located same again. International Potato Research is located at Peru, Lima. Concept of vertical resistance was given by horizontal resistance, all was given by Vander Planck only, father of plant disease epidemiology. He wrote a book called Plant Disease Epidemics and Control 1963. Sugarcane whip smut or whip smut of sugarcane is caused by Sporisorium cetamine. Before it is called as Histilagocetamine, now it is called as Sporisorium cetaminium. Counter stain used in gram staining. Gram staining technique was actually developed by Sir Hans Christian Gram in 1884 just to differentiate the gram positive and gram negative bacteria based on the color staining or color reaction. There are a couple of procedures are there, right? The counter stain, what are the chemical generally used in counter stain? So safranin is used as a counter stain. It is also one of the important questions. Generally, what is the counter stain used in gram staining? Counter stain in staining, something like that. They will ask safranin. It's a very important one. Green ear diseases. Generally, green ear diseases survive in the form of oospore. I think they survive in the form of oospore. Common name of Pleurotus florida. Oyster mushroom is generally known as Pleurotus species. So whatever it is, oyster mushroom. So it is a Pleurotus only. Pleurotus species, Florida or maybe other species were there, but the genus is Pleurotus only. Oyster mushroom, Pleurotus. Black tip of mango is due to boron deficiency, and there might be other reason also for this black tip of mango due to sulfur dioxide concentration, because if the mango trees were growing near the bricklings, so due to the bricklings emits gas called sulfur dioxide, right? Due to sulfur dioxide also this disease can be observed. Boron deficiency and sulfur dioxide is main reasons. The fungi commonly used in genetic studies. Fungi, Neurospora and Aspergillus. Bacteria, Agrobacterium. Virus, TMA and cauliflower mosaic virus were the generally used in genetic studies. Since they have asked fungi, it is Neurospora and Aspergillus as well. Vector for BBTV. First of all, we need to know what is BBTV, banana bunch top virus. So the vector is black aphid. We can also call it as Pentaloda nigrota with the scientific name, right? So the best example is just the main symptoms are stunting of plants, right? Stem pitting is the characteristic symptom of which disease? Generally, citrus tristiza virus we can observe the typical stem pitting symptoms. Citrus tristiza virus. Grapevine fan leaf virus is transmitted by, they're asking, grapevine fan leaf virus, right? Grapevine fan leaf virus is transmitted by nematode, right? Ziphinema index. Ziphinema index is mainly transmit this grape fan leaf virus. Selective medium used for pseudomonas. So King's B medium is generally recommended for pseudomonas. We can also call it as pseudomonas specific medium. And the next one is chains of sporangia is found in the genera. I repeat, chains of sporangia they are asking. Sporangia is produced by Umicota group of fungi. Chains of sporangia can be observed in albugo. If you see chains of conidia, it is the characteristic feature of powdery mildew genera, right? Chains of sporangia means albugo. Chains of conidia means a powdery mildew. Leaf smut of rice is caused by Entyloma varice. In nomenclature fungi, order ends with. There are standard suffix or endings for this nomenclature. Order always ends with ales. Phylum always ends with mycota, like that will be there, right? So here they have mentioned order. Order ends with ales. Citrus greening is transmitted by psyllids, Diaphorinaceae tree. What is the scientific name they are asking? So I have already told Diaphorinaceae tree. Disease resistance in plant was written by. So I told you Vanderplank wrote in the previous videos we have discussed that Vanderplank, the most important book is Plant Disease disease, Epidemics on Plant Disease Control 1963, and he also wrote other books as well, Diseases of Resistance in Plants, Host Plant Interactions, and all those things. We have wrote 5 other books, and this is Disease Resistance in Plants is also written by Vanderplank only. QTL stands for, or expansion of QTL is a quantitative triet loci, that is the expansion of QTL. Downward bending of leaves is known as, generally downward bending of leaves is known as epinasty. Which compound is associated with ISR? They're simply asking what is the hormones or the compounds responsible for the initiation of this ISR. Generally, if it is SAR, salicylic acid. If it is ISR, jasmonic acid and ethylene is responsible. So the answer is jasmonic acid and ethylene. In toxin pyrrolidine, the toxin pyrrolidine is generally detoxified by. So pyrrolidine is the toxin which is produced by rice blast, pyrrolidine virus or magnum forte grease, that can be detoxified by using a chlorogenic acid and ferulic acid. By using this acid we can detoxify this pyrrolidine. Xanthomonas 21, it is actually a gene that is associated with the bacterial blood of rice, which is caused by Xanthomonas varice, Pathology. The gene Xanthomonas 21 is associated with which disease? Just now I told you bacterial blood of rice, BLB of rice. For the identification we can recommend the Uzo test, right? Coliroga disease of Arcanut is also known as, Mahali disease, right? Example of idiom type, example of idiopsis type, example of ovular oscillus type of powdery mildew. There are 3 types of powdery mildew that we know very well: idiom type, idiopsis type, ovular oscillus type. So the standard things are like idiom example is Erisife, idiopsis type is Levilulla, ovular abscess is phylactinia, idiom is ectophytic, idiopsis is endophytic, ovular abscess is both ectophytic and endophytic kind of mycelium can be observed. So these examples are very important. I have encountered this examples of powdery mildews repeatedly. I repeat: idiom type Erisife, idiopsis type Levilulla, phylactinia is the example for ovular abscess type. These are all the examples. The next one is the composition of bodomixture. We know very well, 1:1:100. 1 kilogram of copper sulfate, 1 kilogram of hydrated lime, 100 liters of water. If you are mentioning in kilograms, you must mention at liters. If you are mentioning in grams, you must just think it is a ml. Okay. So give an example of SAP transmitted virus. There are a couple of viruses are there like TMV, cauliflower mosaic virus, cucumber mosaic virus. Here in the case of cauliflower mosaic virus and cucumber mosaic virus, we can observe bimodal kind of transmission, which means the virus can transmit it sap as well as other insect vectors like aphids as well. Okay, the fungal thallus entirely converted into reproductive masses can be observed in. So generally, if the thallus is converted into completely reproductive matter, is called as a holocarpic. Holo means whole, entire, not whole. Okay. International Seed Health Testing Laboratory is located at. It is located at Denmark, Copenhagen. Indian type culture collection is located at New Delhi, ICAR. What is the vertifolia effect? So vertifolia effect means loss of horizontal resistance while breeding for vertical resistance. Very simple. You are breeding for vertical resistance. You want vertical resistance, then automatically horizontal resistance will be washed out. For our understanding, I'm telling. So automatically horizontal resistance will be lost. So that is called as vertifolia effect. The concept was given by Van der Planck. Loss of horizontal resistance while breeding for vertical resistance. Here, which resistance is losing? Horizontal resistance. For what? Vertical resistance. Okay, the concept is known as vertifolia effect given by Van der Planck. Parasexuality is discovered in the organism. So parasexuality was discovered in the organism Aspergillus nidulans. This parasexuality means plasmogamy, karyogamy, meiosis not occurs at a specified point of times. That was first discovered by Ponticarvo and Roper in a fungi called Aspergillus nidulans in 1952, right? Kaira disease of rice was first reported by. First of all, I will tell you what is this Kaira disease of rice is caused by. It's a zinc deficiency, very important one. But first reported by Y.L. Nine and Padmanabhan. Y.L. Nine and Padmanabhan were the first person around the 1980s. They first reported this disease, which is a zinc deficiency. To rectify it, just apply zinc sulfate. Okay. Mode of action of strobulurin. Strobulurin group of fungicide, which actually inhibits some mitochondrial respiration. So mitochondria is energy generation, right? So the powerhouse of the cell. So if there is no power, how it will survive, right? It will be difficult. So mode of action of strobulin is it just cut the respiration or inhibits the mitochondrial respiration. IPCC stands for. So IPCC stands for generally International Plant Protection Convention. IPCC first happens in Italy, Rome, 1951. So probably 52 it's mentioned as well. In clastro means generally a thread-like. A best example is just now we discussed, right? Citrus is a virus, or clastro virus is thread-like kind of viruses, right? Clastro means thread-like. First federal quarantine act was passed in the year. Generally, the first federal quarantine act was passed in the USA in 1912. But the same act which was passed in India with the name of DIP Act, Destructive Insect and Pest Act, which was passed in the year India 1914. Fungal attachment organ is called Apersorium. Nutrient absorbing organ is called Hastoria. 578. Expand RFLV. Restriction fragment length polymorphism. Scientist involved in the development of RFLV, Boatstein. Correct order of application of any chemical formulation, not chemical formulation like the management kind of things. First fungicide, then go with the insecticide, and then rhizobium. This is the general order of application of chemicals. I don't know whether why and what basis this fungicidal order or the application order came into existence. If you guys know, please let me come to know. Osteolate ascocarp is known as perithecium, which means osteolate ascocarp. So first of all, we need to know Clistothecium, apothecium, perithecium. Naked essay. Clistothecium means completely closed. Apothecium means Clistothecium, apothecium means completely opened. Perithecium means osteolate. It has like a pot like with a small narrow opening is called osteolar slit. They are asking osteolate ascocarp, which means osteole present ascocarp. Example is perithecium. Pycnidism also look like that only, right? Self-replicating extra chromosomal hereditary factor in DNA is known as plasmid. So if I want to tell you the definition of plasmid, so plasmid is a extra chromosomal double-stranded circular DNA that is present in the bacteria or prokaryotes. The term plasmid was given by Lederberg in the year of 1952, right? Constant is caused by Spiroplasma citri. Monograph of Fusarium was written by C. Booth 1971. First plant parasitic nematode was discovered by Needham 1743. The nematode is Ungunotritis, Vitier-coccal nematode we used to call it, right? Vitier-coccal nematode or seed gall nematode. Ungunotritis that was first discovered by Needham 1743. What of potato is caused by Syncytium endobioticum, which causes potato what? This life cycle is also discovered by Voronin along with club root of cabbage life cycle as well. Genome of most of the plant viruses. The majority of the plant viruses contain genome as positive single-stranded RNA. Most of the plant viruses are transmitted by majority of the plant viruses are transmitted by aphids and leafhoppers as well. Which virus containing isometric twin particles? Gemini virus. So Gemini in the sense twin particle. So before in Andhra Pradesh a couple of years ago we have a Gemini TV. So the symbol and logo itself is two people are actually turned a reverse side and they attach like this. So indirectly there what Gemini means twin particles. Two particles will be there. So isometric twin particles can be observed in Gemini virus whose genome is composed of single-stranded DNA. The next one is stalk rot of maize is caused by, so it is caused by Irvinia keratovora pharma species GA. Edible fungi of Amanita. Amanita is generally deadly poisonous. There are there are a couple of species of Amanita species which are edible. Amanita caesarea, we can call the Caesar's mushroom. The Caesar was killed by his wife Agrippa in 54 AD by mixing the poisonous with Amanita pallidus, right? And a couple of edible species are Amanita caesarea, Amanita citrina. So these are all a couple of edible species. So budding spores are known as blastospores, inhibitory substance present in the pear that prevent the fire blight of apple. This is also very tricky and important question. Due to the presence of malic acid, this pear plant or pear leaves or pear fruit become resistant to fire blight of apple. How the resistance is acting? For example, scientists are coming with various kinds of resistance because they do some kind of alternation that may produce excess amount of or more amount of malic acid. It automatically helps to prevent this fire blight pathogen invasion, right? So the substance which is present in pear is not only pear but also apple is a malic acid. Due to the presence of more amount of malic acid, it will prevent the fire blight of pear and apple. Tundu disease association with which nematode? They're asking the nematode is Ungunotritis. Tundu disease, or we can call it as yellow rot, right? That is associated with a nematode called Ungunotritis. Epidemic means sudden outbreak. Endemic means confined to a particular area or locality. Pandemic means the disease is present all over the world. Sporadic means it will come irregular intervals. Endemic means it is confined to a particular area or locality or country. Okay. Epidemic is example is the wheat stem rust, lead blight of potato. I can say endemic means potato what. Pandemic means again same lead blight of potato, wheat stem rust, like that. Sporadic means it will come irregular intervals like rice, udbata, fusarium wilt of cotton, such kind of disease will come. Akiuchi disease is due to. Akiuchi is a disease which is mainly due to sulfur toxicity. Group of carbendazim. Which group of carbendazim? Carbendazim belonging to benzimidazole group of fungicide. Okay. Again, I have given here epidemic, endemic, pandemic, sporadic. We can see here epidemic means occurs in a large area or virulently in severe manner. Example is wheat stem rust, lead blight, potato, sugarcane, red powdery mildew disease. Endemic means confined to a particular area or locality. Example is potato what, confined to only Darjeeling. Pandemic means disease prevalent all over the country, subcontinent, continent, everywhere in the world. You just point out, you just put your finger on the country, the disease will be there. So that's a pandemic. You can also take an example of coronavirus pandemic, right? Lead blight of potato and coffee rust generally, wheat stem rust also. Sporadic disease occurs through irregular intervals at irregular localities. Example is udbata, ergot of rice, fusarium wilt of cotton, angular spot of cucumber. These are a couple of examples. For further more information, students can refer my book, A Vision into Plant Pathology, complete student version. For further doubts and clarifications and guidance, students can reach us at www.geekyresearcher.com. Stay geeky and stay tuned. We are Team Geeky Researchers.